Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel, and a ton of information to share with you in today's video. We had a huge update yesterday. We'll also be showing some new loot and glitches in order to help with that power farm. But the other thing that I want to cover quickly at the beginning of this video is a new way to acquire all the Destiny 2 expansions for a limited price of $35. This is a $275 bundle available right now for $35. This includes everything up to the present expansion, and I will leave a link down below in the pinned comment on where you can actually go in order to pick this up. It's through a site called greenmangamingbundles.com. I'm not sponsored by this site at all. I believe it is a charity site that Bungie is doing some work with in order to essentially donate more to charity by boosting the player base in Destiny 2 at the same time, by encouraging people to essentially acquire all of the previous DLCs for this low price. And again, this is a limited time offer, so make your way over there if it's something that you find interesting. Again, it'll be linked in the pinned comment down below. We also had an update to the exotic mission this week. All the catalysts are now available. You can get them all at once. We also have a bunch of updates to the game if you haven't had a chance to play since yesterday. Whole bunch of new things I think everybody should want to know. So we're going to cover all this information in today's video, and if you enjoy the content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things I just mentioned will also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. And when we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away a new console or a video card if you play on PC. You can also stick around till the end of the video for the secret hashtag you can leave in the comment section for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Remember, those stack between all videos. So if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course do it again. Or you can leave a comment down below on any of the topics of discussion in today's video, or anything I might mispronounce over the course of today's video, because I'm sure there will be something. This week we have the Without Ceremony ornament for the Icebreaker. Unfortunately, it won't load. Oh, there we go. Certainly a cool one. This was actually sold for silver about a month and a half ago, so if you didn't want to spend the actual money on it then, you can pick it up now. I think this is actually a good thing that Bungie's doing, making most of these silver items available for Bright Dust, and I actually think everything in the game should be earnable for Bright Dust at some point, or just earnable for Bright Dust all the time, just have a very high price tag on it, like 10,000 Bright Dust or something like that. It's been something that they've done in the past, where usually they have an item available for silver, but then they also have it available for Bright Dust, and people will farm out the Bright Dust for it. So I think it'd be something to just keep players interested, as cosmetics at this point are really sort of the end game. We also have the Indigo Sprinter. We have the Gravity Wave ship, which is a cool one, the Graviton forfeit ship, or am I thinking right? Anyway, the ship that's associated with that one particular exotic pulse rifle. I'm trying to remember what it is. Graviton Forfeit? That's the name of that helmet. Which one am I thinking of? Let me know in the comment section down below, as if I don't actually know. We have the Supernova Shell. We had the Black Letter Gloves, and we had the Supreme Slider emote. Kind of a fun one here. Okay. You know, I know a lot of people probably watch from the UK or from Europe. I've had this question a lot from those who reside in that area. Pineapple on pizza. Let me know in the comments section down below. Good thing, bad thing? I'm from the States. Not a typical thing, but not something I really dislike. I like pineapple. I like pizza. On occasion, it's okay. But apparently it's a really big thing in other places, and some people just hate the idea of it. I've always been sort of agnostic about these kind of things. We also have the Mogul of Paint shader available, which is, I think, the first time this has been available for Bright Dust. This was part of a shader set, which I think also included this one, the Sanguis probably saying that incorrectly, but this is also available this week and is actually one of my favorite shaders, full-on animated shader, so you can get this one for free. Probably one of the best animated shaders in my opinion, though I wish it did actually go on the outer cloak of this outfit, but other ones it does. We have the Feast of Feelings emote, Coffee Talk emote, as well as the Chemical Burn vehicle, which of course is not going to load for me right now, but pick up any of those for Bright Dust before next week's reset. Now, you might have also noticed that we had a huge update to the game yesterday, which gave us this new chest in the tower over by Commander Zavala. This is the Power Catch-Up chest, and if you head over to it, you'll notice that you can pick up all the unstable cores you will ever need before this currency is removed in Renegades, which I think is a good thing. I don't think we really needed another currency in the game. I think enhancement cores have been here for a long time. We can do okay with just leveling up with either more or less enhancement core cost or, there's also other things as far as currency. We have Ascendant Shards. We have, what are the other ones whose name I can't remember at the moment, but you can let me know in the comment section down below. We have enhancement cores. Enhancement prisms, that was the one I was thinking of. I think with all these things, we just didn't need this, but I know that it was originally so that we have this kind of seasonal model of power decreased and, everything kind of reset, sort of like a Diablo type thing. I never thought it was going to work, really, so I think that just getting rid of these is a good thing, but in the interim, we'll have as many as we could ever possibly need to upgrade. Also, if you're still on the power grind, if you're trying to get to the power cap of 550, remember power will not be reset now in Renegades, but I'm sure a lot of people are probably just trying to get up to power 400, or if you're on any level of the power grind, you can always now go over and pick up some weapons as well as armor for all the slots in order to upgrade your armor as quickly as possible. But remember to maybe wait on these things until you need to fill a specific slot of armor or a weapon so that you can get the most out of these. You can actually mid-max these they will increase depending on what your power is at a given moment. So you might want to use one to, get your power minimum or your power average up to a certain point, and then go farm out some more activities and then come back and pick up another piece. But I would suggest just staggering these at the very least, or picking them all up at the end of the week after you've had a chance to farm, because we now have the increase to all our drops from any of the activities. But now, if you just pick a random activity, the thing you want to be focusing on is how many of the bonus drops are available from anything. And of course, these do disappear once you do the activity once, so you want to do multiple things. But all of these will now drop or have a chance to drop at the power of your featured reward. So whatever you would get for the actual score reward, which would be, either +2 or +3 power above where you are, these actually now have a chance to also drop at that. So this will increase your power grind quite a bit. I think most people should be able to get to 550 or at least close to 550 before the launch of Renegades. And of course, doing that this week and then heading over to the chest, or then heading over to Commander Zavala in order to pick up your weekly rewards, which also increase based on what your current power is, will get you, I would say, at least 20 levels just over the course of this week. I think everybody should be able to get at least that over where they are currently. So remember to just stagger these or wait for the end of the week in order to pick them up, but make sure when you are farming power to focus on those activities that are giving the most bonus drops, and then, switch them out. So just do one activity that has a lot of bonus drops, and then once those are gone, go do another one, because of course the bonus drops are only on the first completion of any one set activity. Not the feature drop, but the bonus drops. Now over at Banshee 44, we have the thing that I really want to talk about, and I always want to take time to talk about. We have our featured loot, of course. We have a Chroma Rush, which is a really good one. Unfortunately, it's not an enhanced version of the Chroma Rush, and we had an enhanced version a couple of weeks ago. I do think it's weird that Banshee will sell a non-enhanced and an enhanced version. Like, we're splitting hairs here over seasons, essentially. This is an amazing one for PvP. If it was the enhanced version, it would even be better. But with Rampage and Dynamic Sway Reduction and a Handling Masterwork, still not bad, though I'm sure most people don't want to use just a vanilla weapon, especially when there was one available in its enhanced version a couple of weeks ago or last week. We also have the Sojourner's Tale. I always think I say this one incorrectly, but this one can be enhanced. Fairly good shotgun, I've heard. We have the Breachlight, which can also be enhanced, this one with hatchlings. This is a very good PvE-focused weapon, also not bad in PvP. Hatchlings are one of the best PvE perks, in my opinion, and Xur actually had one of these for sale, I think, last week. But I think this one is actually even better with the range and, yeah. I don't know if the one from Xur was enhanceable or not, but range with hatchlings might be about the same as the one from Xur, if not slightly better. We also have the Abyssal Edge, which can be enhanced as well. It's a very decent PvE sword. This one with Surrounded and Flash Counter. Oh, what was the Masterwork on that? I meant to see. We have an Impact Masterwork, which is a very good one. Now, on the Focus Decoding page, you have 2 days at the time that you're seeing this in order to farm out this bad boy, the Crate. The most underwhelming name, but the most overwhelming weapon, especially if you're fighting against it in PvP. This weapon is better than a tier 5. I have talked about it many times on my channel. Whenever it becomes available, I really encourage everybody to buy it. Check it out, take it for a spin in PvP. Even if you're a novice Crucible player, this is a great equalizer. It's great in Crucible, all PvP types, even, competitive. This will pay dividends in many ways. And, I keep encouraging people to buy it because it seems like not enough people are. But I know this is just a vanilla weapon. However, how is it better than a tier 5? I will tell you how. It's a 720 RPM auto rifle, which is the best archetype, in my opinion, for PvP at the moment. But also, we have the Vice Stinger origin trait. Now, let's just read what this says for a moment, because this is really where this weapon gains ground, and if you haven't heard me say it before, it is a glitched weapon, and because of this glitch, it is better than an exotic or a tier 5, in my opinion, but I've tried a lot of things against it, and just nothing seems to do as well for me as this. But I'm going to take you through just all the things that I use to get the most benefit from this weapon, as some people have tried this out and said, I'm not really seeing as much of a benefit as you say. There's some unique things that might not be quite so intuitive, but we're going to cover them really quick. One, the Vice Stinger origin trait. Let's just talk about this. Damaging an enemy with this weapon has a small chance to reload the magazine and increase movement speed while aiming down sight. Now, that's not important. What is important is bows receive faster draw speed and swords receive faster charge rate while this perk is active. So, as soon as you damage an enemy, this perk becomes active. Now, this is specifically stating it's only really going to help bows and swords in charge time and draw time. But that's where this glitch is coming in, because I think, because this is an older weapon, and because it's not enhanced or anything, it's this bare bones old vanilla weapon, this Vice Stinger origin trait is glitched for this weapon, and the bows receive faster draw time is actually increasing the rounds per minute once the Vice Stinger origin trait is active. Now, of course, you need to damage an enemy first, but then you're getting essentially a faster RPM than you would normally see. So at 720, you're probably getting something closer to 900, maybe. Now, here's the thing. You'll never see that 900 RPM, because If you can get this weapon with the Adagio perk, and now I'm just going to open up my character and show you exactly what I am using on this weapon. With Adagio, let's just read what that perk actually says. After defeating a target, this weapon fires, charges, or draws more slowly and deals increased damage for a brief time. Now, it's kind of worded a little bit weird, but essentially, after you defeat an enemy, the RPMs are supposed to slow and you're supposed to do more damage. However, because you damage an enemy and the Weistinger origin trait is glitched, the bow faster draw time essentially cancels out what you would be reduced from the Adagio perk. And how this ends up working is essentially you end up with not quite, I've done some extra testing, not quite a 720 RPM auto rifle. You end up with about a 700, maybe a little bit more RPM auto rifle that is getting a 30% damage buff from Adagio. So basically, you don't really lose the rounds per minute. 700 to 720, you're not going to notice. But you get this incredible damage buff from Adagio without any drawback. And you'll notice it in PvP because after you get that first kill, you know, with most glitch weapons, if you've ever used one in the past, you usually notice a quick fall off in the health points of an enemy. So you usually will see kind of like the damage you're supposed to do, and then afterwards sort of this rapid drop off, usually maybe delayed about half a second. That's the case with this. When you're fighting a Guardian, you'll see the normal sort of degradation of their health points as you shoot them, and then at the very end you'll essentially see like a zap, like all their health points are just gone. And it doesn't look like they've progressively gone down, it just kind of looks like you sort of progressively got them down to about half, and then that last half just disappears. Or their shields will kind of go away, and then all their health points will just sort of disappear. It's an incredibly fast kill time. I would compare this weapon to the Kvastov because the sight is essentially exactly the same as the Kvastov. It's the same rounds per minute. The Kvastov is supposed to do about 23 points of damage per hit. Now this does 18, but when Adagio is active, Kvastov does about 21 points of damage per hit. My mistake. This does about 18, but then once Adagio is active, it jumps up to 23 with the same sight. And if you can get a range masterwork on it, it'll essentially have about the same range, not quite the same range. I think the Kvastov has 60 range, but with a range masterwork can get this up to about 58. And here's the thing, a lot of people will always throw on the targeting adjuster mod, or one of the new mods, which of course those are really good, but some of the old mods are still the best for PvP. Targeting adjuster on this weapon is really not the thing you want. What you do want is the counterbalance stock, which is another one of the old mods that you can throw on any weapon, or maybe even the freehand grip, because this weapon is really good at close quarters when firing from the hip. I prefer the counterbalance stock because for some reason on this weapon it makes it an absolute laser. For some reason this will sort of pull you around a little bit more than I think it wants to. I think that even though this is supposed to increase aim assist, depending on your connection, and in PvP this can kind of be a little wonky at times, if you're even a hair behind the connection of the opponent you're fighting, you'll essentially get pulled away from landing a headshot. The aim assist will sort of autocorrect behind where the actual player is, whereas this just gives you more predictability and makes it sway a lot less to the left and the right and kick back a lot more. I usually use this if I'm going for a little bit more range, this if it's a slightly closer quarters map maybe, but overall I think the counterbalance stock is the best mod to use on this weapon, and you will notice a difference. Even though it decreases the aim assist, don't let that fool you. Some of these things, they tell you they're good, but Depending on the circumstance, they really can be better or worse. This is one of those ones that I find to be very consistent. And if you can get a full bore on the barrel, that's even better. But the thing that you're really looking for is Adagio and the range masterwork. If you can only find one with Adagio, I still encourage you to just go and try that, because it's still going to be really good. You might just not have quite as much range as you would like, but it's not a huge difference. Adagio and the Weistinger Origin trait really are the things that are doing the most work on this particular roll. And I will encourage everybody to give it a try while it is still available and while that perk is still glitched. Now that's going to be it for all the information regarding updates and stuff. We're still going to just make our way down to Archie and Shada 1 to check out what she has for the week. But as I said, that will conclude all the information for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram, as I said before. It'll be linked in the description box down below. We're almost to 1,000 followers on Instagram, so go figure. If we can get there soon, we might do something else a little bit special. Always remember to say hi to Archie when you're in the tower, and you can leave a hashtag Archie in the comments section down below for the secret hashtag in today's video. Remember again, those stack between all videos, so if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course do it again. We've got Real Dez joining us in the tower. You can leave a hashtag Real Dez in the comments section down below for another entry. A few interesting shaders today, and that's where I will leave you. And once more, I am Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching again, and of course, we will see you next time. Later!